I am a very clumsy person. And not just the, whoops, I dropped something kind of clumsy. No, I am more of a, should I go to the hospital now? Kind of clumsy. Although I do drop stuff as well. Like, did your parents ever tell you not to run with scissors? Because you really shouldn't run with scissors. When I was 4, I did just that, running into the backyard with a pair of scissors because I wanted to cut some flowers. And these weren't those tiny kitty scissors either. Nope, I was running around with the big boy scissors. And then I dropped them, and they fell in my foot. Needless to say, we had to go to the hospital to get this gashing hole in my foot stitched up. And of course, I wasn't allowed to walk for a while. But that kinda turned out to be a good thing, because we had a trip to Disneyland planned, and they would let us into all of the attractions through the exit, so we wouldn't have to stand in line. I honestly don't remember much of that, because I was just too young. But fear not. Plenty more hospital stays were yet to come. Only 2 years later, I was running through the street playing with my friends, and I tripped over my own feet. I fell flat on my face. Well, actually, I fell on my wrist and then I fell on my face. I believe we didn't even go to the hospital until the next day, but my memory's kind of foggy, so I don't really know. But I do know I had broken my right arm and it had to be in a cast for 6 weeks. We also had a vacation planned like a week later, and I kept getting my cast wet because they couldn't keep me out of the pool. We did have one of those bag thingies you slide over your cast, but really they're designed to take showers and not really to be completely submerged in a pool. I survived the rest of my childhood pretty much in one piece, but then during summer, right before I had to start secondary school, my track record got messed up. I was at my grandma's with my cousin and we were racing and trying to see how fast we could go. I was on my roller skates and I was just starting a new run and picking up speed, but then I placed my foot on a mossy area, so I slipped and I flew forward. I raised my hands in front of me to break my fall, and you can probably see where this is going. My left arm snapped right above my wrist, and the bones shifted out of place, which was quite painful if you would believe it. We told our grandma to call an ambulance, but she just said, "You don't know if it's really broken." So she just decided to call the doctor on call instead. And then the doctor came, and he just kinda said, "Yeah, that's broken." And he gave us a ride to the hospital. When we arrived there, I had started noticing my right wrist was hurting as well, so I told the doctors and they decided to x-ray both of my arms, just to be sure.
Yeah, your left arm is pretty busted, but your right one seems fine.
Oh good, that really would have sucked.
Oh, wait, never mind. It's broken as well.
So I had to wear casts on both arms for 6 weeks. The day after it happened, we were supposed to go on vacation to Switzerland to visit family. We ended up going a day late. But not only that, I also had to start secondary school with everyone knowing me as the girl with 2 broken arms. On the plus side, after 2 weeks I was able to switch to a water-resistant cast, so I would be able to go into the water with them. So, that's cool, I guess. You would think that by now I would be more careful, but oh boy, you don't know me yet. Another 5 years later, I joined a musical group because it seemed like a fun thing to do. We were already a couple of months into rehearsing and time had come to learn a new part of the choreography. The teacher asked us who could not do a pirouette, so together with 2 other people, I raised my hand. Because I couldn't. But because the majority of the group had no problem with it, she asked us to try it anyway. So we did. Big mistake. I'm not sure how it happened, but my foot just kinda slipped from beneath me and I fell to the ground. Immediately at first I noticed that my ankle was hurting, but I didn't think it was too serious. But after an hour, it had gotten worse and it had swollen up, so I decided it was time to call my mom. I still thought it wasn't too urgent, so I told my mom to finish up her work first, but by the time we finally did go to the ER, I was regretting those decisions. I could no longer put any weight on my ankle, and with every movement I made, there was now a sharp pain going through my elbow. To make matters worse, upon arriving at the ER, it was raining and the floor was wet, so when I got out of the car, I slipped and I fell again. So here we are at the ER. I am completely worn out and we're waiting on the results of the x-ray.
Yeah, your ankle is broken, but your elbow seems fine.
Oh good, that would have been a real pain in the ass.
Oh, wait, never mind, it's fractured.
For fuck's sake! My ankle needed a cast for about 2 months, and after that I still needed a brace for another one. The fracture of my elbow wasn't too bad, so it didn't need a cast, but because of it I was unable to use crutches until it had healed. I ended up laying in my bed for 2 weeks, unable to do much except awkwardly crawling around on my butt every time I needed to get around the house. And believe it or not, but we had actually again planned a vacation. Luckily, this time it was after the cast came off. But I still had to wear the brace, so I wasn't allowed to join in any sports and activities, and walking around was really uncomfortable. But it was still an awesome vacation. I did have to drop out of the musical, but at least I had an excuse not to join PE for the rest of the year, so that's good. That was the last time I had to go to the hospital. I did break a couple of toes in the last few years, but I didn't really bother to get it checked out. We can't really do much about it anyways, so I just kind of walked it off. So I guess the moral of the story is, if you can't walk, go to Disneyland. Sup guys? First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to Tankbank for lending his voice to my video, which I know must have been really hard without him out, so everyone go show your gratitude by subscribing if you haven't already. Do it now. Second of all, we've hit 100 subscribers, which is like totally awesome. I don't know what happened, suddenly they were there, and I guess, yeah, I don't know. Thank you! Also, you might have noticed there are a couple of drawings in some of the backgrounds of my video. That's fan art. I've got fans now, and they make art. So, yeah, fan art in the background. If you want to make fan art that I can put in my backgrounds, just like, I don't know, send it to me on Twitter. I need to stop rambling. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.